Good morning. I have received apologies for absence from the following councillors: Councillor Diane Hurst and Councillor Anne Woolhouse. The first order of business today is to elect the Lord Mayor for the municipal year 2025 to 2026.
I thought somebody had done it already. My apologies. I would like to call upon Councillor Zahira Naz, who will move that Councillor Safia Saeed be elected Lord Mayor of the City of Sheffield for the municipal year 2025-2026. Councillor Naz.
Thank you. Lord Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, councillors, colleagues and friends. Today I stand here with pride and the fullest heart to introduce, propose and celebrate my friend, my colleague, my comrade, Councillor Safia Saeed as the new Lord Mayor of Sheffield. I remember the first time I met Safia. She had just become a councillor for the Burngreen ward. She walked into the room and instantly you felt it, that warmth, that spark, that energy that just pulls you in. Within minutes, I thought, I really like her. And within days, I knew that I loved her. Safia is one of the kindest, most generous, most real people I've ever met. She's the kind of person who will answer the phone at 2 a.m. and not ask why you're calling. She'll answer and say, are you okay, sis? She'll listen. She'll advise. She'll cry with you. She will laugh with you. And you most definitely will get a motivational quote on WhatsApp the day later. But behind that gentle soul is a real powerhouse. A woman with a heart the size of Sheffield. And a fire that drives her to stand up for the young people, for families, and for those voices too often that go unheard. Safia doesn't just talk about empowering young people. She lives it. She breathes it. She makes sure young people have a voice, a platform, a seat at the table, even if she has to bring in the extra chairs herself. She lifts people up, gives chances, creates leaders, and she does it with humility and love. Now, let me add something else. Safia is a mother of 5 incredible children. Yes, 5. And she still finds time to serve her community, support colleagues, and be that rock for so many of us. I don't know what kind of superwoman gene she has, but she's absolutely amazing at what she does. But what makes this moment historic, what makes my heart swell with pride is this: seeing a woman of colour, a Muslim woman, a working class woman, stand here today, not just as a councillor, but as a first citizen of Sheffield. Now let that sink in. Because when young girls across our city, especially those who wear the hijab, or who may speak with an accent, or come from a council estate, when they see Safia wearing that mayoral chain, they'll know they belong here too. They'll know that doors are open, they can lead, they can represent, they can dream big and achieve even bigger. Safia, you're going to be a trailblazing Lord Mayor. You're going to bring heart, humour, humility and realness to the role. You'll make people feel welcome in rooms they've never entered before. You represent the soul of this city with compassion, pride, and a little sass too, let's be honest. There'll be lots and lots of selfies on the way too. So today, it is my absolute honour, joy, and privilege to propose Councillor Safia Saeed as the new Lord Mayor of Sheffield. Let's make history together. Thank you.
upon Councillor Penny Baker, who will second the motion. Councillor Baker.
Lord Mayor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen and friends. Sophia, this is an absolute delight to be able to do this. It's a pleasure for me, and I see your beaming face there when we walk in. Whenever we meet in the council, you're always smiling, but you're making sense as well. We are so lucky that you chose to make Sheffield your home. As someone who has returned to this country, a one-parent family with 2 children, I can't imagine how you've managed on your own with 5. I think that is stunning. And to be a councillor, which takes a lot of time and energy, with young children, I empathise with you that as well. As you've done more and more within this council, you've become more and more respected. And some of the choices you made reflect the person you are. To be a mum of 5 and to have won the Yorkshire Choice Inspirational Individual of the Year is flipping amazing. In your words, that was your most treasured award. You also founded a charity, Reach Up for Youth, in 2013, supporting young people between 14 and 25 in Burngreave. All I can say is thank you for the lives you have changed. It is pretty remarkable what you've done through that organisation. As has already been said, you're someone who puts others before yourself and cares very much and very deeply for your community. We're going to be very lucky to have you as our Lord Mayor, and I think we're going to have a fun year. So it's with absolute great pleasure that I second the motion to elect Safia Saeed, the Lord Mayor of Sheffield, 25-26. Thank you.
May I call upon members of the City Council to vote by a show of hands. All those in favour? All those against? I have to do this, sorry. And all those abstaining. I hereby declare Councillor Safia Saeed duly elected.
Please be upstanding for the right worshipful Lord Mayor of Sheffield, Safia Said.
I, Councillor Safia Said, have been appointed to the official of Lord Mayor of the City of Sheffield. Hereby declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfill the duties of it accordingly to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the code as to conduct that is expected of a member of Sheffield City Council. I can get used to this. Ladies and gentlemen, Mum, family, friends, colleague, and fellow Sheffielders, I stand before you today with great pride and joy as I take on the role of the 128th Lord Mayor of Sheffield. It is more than an honour, it's a moment of history. I am humbled to be the first Black woman and the first Muslim and the first hijabi to hold this position in Sheffield. I came to this city as a young girl, not knowing what my future held. Sheffield embraced me, gave me my home, a safe space, an opportunity to grow. It also gave my children a future. And today, it gives me the platform to give back. I'm not standing here alone. I carry with me the hopes of my communities that often feel unseen, the strength of my sisters who lift others while carrying so much, and the love of the city that thrives into diversity. Without many of my partners, colleagues, I wouldn't be standing here today. Your support has been a consistent source of the strength and the guidance. And as a mum, as everybody knows, of 5, I've had to have my fair share of negotiation around the dinner table. So I'd say I'm well prepared for full council meeting. I wouldn't be Sophia if I don't mention my young people and the love I have for them. I've always used sports to push narratives in our young people's lives at reach up. Whether it was football, basketball, or just making everyone had the right gear on. I was there, on the sidelines, so in tune with the game, until they grew up. And one of them gently whispered in one of the games, "By the way, Auntie, you're cheering for the wrong team. We lost 3 points, pack it in." Honestly, my cover was blown. And as a diva, I never played it down, nor have ever stopped showing up for them. My theme for this year, as a Lord Mayor, will be Sheffield stories. And I know I'm full of them. Stories, celebration of trauma, of fear, vision, and pure experience. Because my life has always been a mix of comedy wrapped in disaster. And somehow, that became one of my most powerful tools. Tell stories to relate and connect. I tell stories to relate and connect, to build trust, or simply to send a message, you're not alone. And this year, it's your stories I want to hear, your truth, your voice, your Sheffield. It's through laughter, chaos, and a lot of grace that I've built the most unexpected friendship. The latest is Helen Steers with her UFO sunglasses and her insisting that we take a walk in the forests. Trust me, I'm running out of excuses. Or Catherine Mudge, who to this day, I still use her for any alibi for every malfunction in my life. Or the 40 years friendship that I have with the Munir family, who still thinks I speak Punjabi. In low-key, I understand all the swearings. Who will always have a warm tea, a hot samosa, and hours of stories to exchange when I visit. Many of you who I invited today, I cannot express you stood by me, my vision, and gave me a platform when many others have dismissed me. Yeah, let's not lie. Many of you have bonded with me because I give you good food. Sorry, a lot of shuffling. My chosen charity. The Israq Somali Community Association is a well-established charity organization based in Sheffield, dedicated to support the Somali and wider community, founded over 30 years ago. Israq operates from Vestry Hall and Cemetery Road. Israq's mission is to promote education, social welfare, and cultural identity, particularly in the Somali and the Somalilanders communities, while fostering and developing integration and social cohesion among residents. The centre offers diverse range of services and activities. Israq was founded by the respected Fatima Diria, a well-respected woman with a vision of welcoming home for families seeking refuge and integrating themselves into Sheffield culture. Since 1985, this centre was providing a sense of shelter, warmth, crucial resources to migrants, myself, asylum seekers, refugees fleeing wars and trauma. Isra has not only helped them navigate the city and register their children in schools, but also become a powerful advocate for countless families in need. My experience as a 13-year-old in the winter of 1985 at Isra was transformative. It was my first time stepping into a place felt like a true home away from home. The centre gave me and many others a sense of belonging and a safe space to learn, grow, and connect. It's incredible to see how it continues to shape lives and the future this way. It's also heartwarming to see how the cycle of support continues. One of those former youth club members who arrived as a migrant and benefited from ISRA's support is now a father of 4 and serves as the chair of trustees. This truly demonstrates how charity and community support can come a full circle. ISRA continues to be a beacon of hope and growth for so many, and with your support, it will thrive. And for another 40 years and beyond, please support. Can I just say a quick thank you to all ISRA team of my charity? Can you all stand up so we can give you a good round of applause? Thank you. But seriously, my focus would always be on people, on connection, fairness, representation, and service. I want every child to know they belong. I want every resident to feel seen, and I want every voice, no matter how quiet, to be heard in the heart of this city. Whether you wear a suit, high vest, or just an extra hair gel, leave your ego at the door. Titles do not fill families. Power doesn't clean streets. And privilege means nothing if you don't listen. Let's serve the city properly together. I've learned from those who came before me lessons in kindness, humor, resilience, and responsibility. I carry that legacy forward with humbleness in my heart. Thank you for your trust today, and thank you for making my mom very proud of me today. Kate, what's the next one? They nibbled everything up. Where's that paper? Can I call Councillor Ruth Milson to move a vote of thanks to the retiring Lord Mayor, please?
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Lord Mayor and distinguished guests, it's a real pleasure to give this speech, one of the best I think can be given in the year, because it's all about thanks and sharing the joy that our last retiring Lord Mayor has brought to the city. As a close observer of the Lord Mayor's activities throughout the year, I conclude 2 things. First, the workload is superhuman. Congratulations, Jane, on making it through the year, still with a spring in your step. Second, the privilege of this role requires a very special marriage of conformity and individuality. Jane has brought personality in spades to this role, making every encounter, every handshake, every conversation a heartfelt and memorable experience. She has also brought glamour. And I don't mention this at all flippantly. Jane, you have declared that your life's work should be to change the world one sequin at a time. So I would say Lifetime Achievement Award unlocked. As the city's first citizen, when the Lord Mayor attends, first impressions actually really do count. Their very appearance must say, "I respect you. Sheffield respects you. We respect what you represent." It must say, "I honour your culture and I wish to share in your world for the time we are together." It must say, "You are the sole focus of my attention." This is what Jane has done without fail, epitomising the renowned friendliness of Sheffielders, embracing all people, sharing in their joys and struggles with enormous warmth and personal generosity. Her 12 themed months were devised to reflect our Sheffield City goals and to bring into the spotlight issues that people frequently define as their priorities. She has promoted diversity, be it race, culture, background, age or ability, and she has acted as an ambassador for equality, standing shoulder to shoulder with her community champions and giving them a platform to be seen and heard. And Jane has made her causes and duties as visible as possible, using social media in a quite exemplary way. I'm going to learn a few lessons from you, Jane, to add extra value to all she has done. For anyone who has not been a follower, I highly recommend scrolling back through the last year on Jane's Facebook and Instagram. It will not fail to bring joy, and it tells a story of her time as Lord Mayor far better than can be done in mere words. You will see a big heart, a champion of women, an advocate for those whose voices are not loudly heard. You will see this frontline civic role in all its modern glory, preserving the best of past traditions whilst wearing that chain of office very much as first amongst equals. Jane, Lord Mayor, retiring Lord Mayor, in your non-council professional life, you have devoted yourself to building up self-confidence and empowering others. And that takes a level of empathy that is not to be taken for granted. So thank you on behalf of the many hundreds of people whose lives you have touched in this last year for being so very impressively human. And to our 127th Lord Mayor of Sheffield, a woman of steel, for the dignity, joy, compassion and sparkle with which you have served our city and all its people, I am honoured and proud to move a vote of thanks and wish you a very well-earned rest.
And now I call upon our own Lord, Councillor Shafak Mohammed, to second the motion.
Lord Mayor, sorry, just raise this up a bit. Lord Mayor, distinguished guests, fellow councillors, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honour and a genuine admiration that I rise to deliver a vote of thanks to our friend and colleague, Councillor Jane Dunn, who concludes her year as the 127th Lord Mayor of Sheffield. Jane has made history, not just by serving as Lord Mayor, but by becoming the 21st female to hold this prestigious office in our city, proud and storied history. Her year in office has been one marked by elegance and energy and an unwavering dedication to the people of Sheffield. From her very first day of wearing the chains in office, Jane has brought clear purpose to her mayoralty, to ensure that everyone she meets, regardless of age, background, is always welcomed and valued and seen, as she has achieved that time and time again. We have seen her turn what might have been a routine civic engagement into something deeply personal and memorable for all involved. Jane has represented the city across a wide range of events, embracing Sheffield's rich heritage while celebrating diversity and its spirit. She has presented in our schools, in our places of worship, community centres, business events, charity functions and festivals, bringing in with her infectious enthusiasm and genuine sense of connection to people. Amongst many highlights, Jane, your year of office, I think the one that stands out for us locally has been the inauguration of the Lord Mayor's Award in March. This is a new civic tradition that has been a powerful and thoughtful addition to our calendar, offering a platform to honour unsung heroes, many of whom may well be sat in this room today, acknowledging your remarkable contributions being made across Sheffield's many communities. It's a legacy that no doubt, Jane, will continue long after your office ends. Jane has also played a prominent role in civic events while presiding over university graduations with dignity and encouragement, or taking centre stage for the joyful Lunar New Year, Deputy Lord Lieutenant, where her presence reflected the importance of unity and cultural pride. Each appearance, each handshake, each conversation was approached not as duty, but as an opportunity to uplift and celebrate others. And of course, who can forget the exceptional moment when Jane Dunn, Councillor Jane Dunn, Lord Mayor of Sheffield, represented Sheffield at Buckingham Palace, shaking the hands of His Majesty the King. It was a proud moment, not only for her personally, but of all of us, as she carried out Sheffield's name with grace and pride onto the national stage. Throughout this year, she has fulfilled her role as Lord Mayor, not only as a figurehead, but as a true ambassador for Sheffield, advocating tirelessly for our communities, championing local causes and reminding us all of the importance of civic pride and public service. Jane has shown us that the office of Lord Mayor is not just about our traditions, but about people, about presence and about heart. She has undertaken her duties with style and elegance, but more importantly with a deep sense of care and commitment, whether at formal dinners, community fundraisers, or at grassroots celebrations. She has brought warmth and sincerity to every room she has entered. As her time in office comes to a close, we thank her not only for what she has done, but for how she has done it. For the dignity, compassion, humour and humanity she has brought to every engagement. Jane, on behalf of the Council, indeed the City of Sheffield, we offer a heartfelt thank you for all your outstanding year of service. You leave behind not just a full calendar, but a lasting impression on this city and the countless people whose lives you have touched. So we wish you all the very best for whatever lies ahead, and we know your commitment to Sheffield will continue. Thank you.
We are now going to be presenting a former Lord Mayor the badge of retiring Lord Mayor. The vote. So, before members of the City Council to vote by show of hands of all those in favour. Thank you. All those against? So you'll have a beef with me otherwise. And all those abstaining? Thank you. We are now going to move to the former Lord Mayor's badge, to the retiring Lord Mayor. The retiring Lord Mayor, Councillor Jane Dunn, will now respond with the speech.
Good afternoon. Madam Lord Mayor, distinguished guests, councillors, ladies and gentlemen, may I be the first to congratulate you on becoming the Lord Mayor of Sheffield. I wish you every success. It is my honour and privilege to be able to hand over the chain of office to an outstanding woman. When I became Lord Mayor a year ago, I gave a speech that set out my intentions, ambitions for the year ahead. Today is my opportunity to respond, update you, and give thanks to the people of our wonderful city of Sheffield. I am not going to focus on the number of engagements I carried out. I'm going to focus on how I and the team of people around me have tried to make the role of Lord Mayor a more relevant and relatable fit for today, and the thousands of people that I met along the way. When most people think of a Lord Mayor, the first citizen, they see a grand person in a chain, very divorced from their normal everyday lives. But in reality, the job to represent them, the everyday people of this city, their cultures, their traditions, their hopes and dreams, they're there to celebrate their achievements, shine a light on their hard work. Discharging these duties in a way needs to be relevant, relatable. As previous Lord Mayors know, it's difficult, because if I'm honest, there is always a risk at times that this wonderful role becomes nothing more than a chain at a dinner. As I said in my speech a year ago, I wanted to reach out into the communities, people groups that would never normally meet a Lord Mayor or think about a Lord Mayor. My community champions were integral to this, and they have shown us our city through their eyes. Many of them had not worked in public life before, but they have each done an amazing job at helping me and the team organise events, raise awareness across a whole range of issues. These were individuals with lived experience or expertise that has led to public engagement. They've added depth and authenticity into each month's theme. Many of my champions had never met a Lord Mayor, a councillor, or a director, or had even thought about stepping foot into the town hall. So I know that this was a very special experience for each and every one of them. And I cannot thank them enough. People reached out to me because of the themes to highlight issues close to their hearts. They felt they could ask me to visit them, or as I did on many occasions, invite them into the parlour. The joy on their faces, feeling comfortable and at home in the parlour, was humbling. That sense of belonging in their town hall was clear to see. Taking an inclusive approach as Lord Mayor is critical if we are going to rebuild trust in local democracy and in local institutions. At the end of the day, we need our communities to trust us and believe in us. And in this role, through my community champions, I have sought to do just that. Another way of increasing the reach of the office is the work we have done together with the Sheffield University Journalist Department. I am pleased that over the last year, trainee journalists under the stewardship of Michelle Rawlins and Polly Mosley accepted my request to shadow the Lord Mayor for a year. This was extremely successful. They covered a wide range of engagements, charity fundraisers, Christmas fairs, award ceremonies and civic functions. And I understand it is to be continued to work alongside our council communications team. The journalist students thoroughly enjoyed their year, seeing things they had never knew existed. I hope other initiatives, such as strong partnerships with the Cathedral Choir, will continue. I was particularly pleased when the children sang in the town hall at my wrap party. They have sang for the charities, the supporters, my champions, to say thank you. This simple, easy experience has absolutely brought joy to their lives. I am pleased, as you have said, Lord Mohammed, that we reinstated the Lord Mayor Awards this year, although seeing myself on a giant billboard was certainly a shock. When I was younger, I dreamt of being an actress, or maybe a backup singer for my beloved Brian Ferry, but alas, that will have to do. Bucket moment, ticked off nonetheless. The Lord Mayor Awards were very successful and did highlight so many amazing groups, organisations. One of the nicest comments I received that evening was said by a nominee. I have never felt more like a winner, even though I didn't win. I think that was job done. It's also been an honour to represent the city at many events where Sheffielders have been doing not just our city, but our country proud. Attending the Paralympics in Paris at the invitation came from Badminton England, and I got to see firsthand the skill, professionalism of the athletes, many of whom trained in Sheffield. Acting as returning officer at the general election, another once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I'm so glad I didn't get my numbers mixed up. Launching the Town Hall Formula 4 car and driver, which is made in Sheffield, outside the Town Hall. No, I wasn't allowed to drive or get in, but I certainly felt like I was on the grid momentarily, and the car was certainly a bigger draw than the chain that day. Celebrating Sheffield hasn't just been about drawing attention and to the great work in this city. It's been about making connections between them. For International Women's Day, I was honoured to host events that brought powerful, successful, ambitious, curious women across the city together. I've also raised money for my two chosen charities, the Arch Project and Roundabout, through selling prints of a painting I made of the Women of Steel, the iconic statue in our city, because I always believed our city has remarkable female talent, and that is as true now as it was during the World Wars and before. As a bonus, the teenage backup dream of marrying Brian Ferry wasn't achieved, but I did become the Bohemian artist, so another bucket list moment ticked off. But it isn't just about raising money, it's about helping those organisations that need our help to build connections that will put them in the position of strength over years to come. Just like on International Women's Day, where we hosted over 100 women from across the city who came together in the Radisson, across the road, to network and celebrate female empowerment. I truly believe raising awareness by building connections between organisations, charities, business, industry and public institutions is important, so the impact of the civic year lasts beyond its end, because although all Lord Mayors pick different charities, all of them still matter. And I'm not going to lie, there have been some moments that have been very special to me personally. In my first week, I attended Cultural Style Week. Now, everyone knows I love clothes and colourful clothes. It's no secret. So I was obviously delighted, but I was even more delighted to see the young women and men from cultures across the world here in Sheffield designing outfits that reflected their heritage. Our city is a place where people can put down new roots and keep old ones too. I borrowed this idea, and I had a year and was full of culture, vibrant colour and diversity, jumping into as many cultural initiatives as I could possibly do, including the Lunar New Year fashion show, celebrations for Diwali, Holi and many more. I expanded this including charities, Pink for St Luke's, Purtle for Weston Park. The list was endless, as is my wardrobe now. Thank goodness for Vinted. Watch out. During this year, there have been some challenging moments as well. The topping off ceremony right on the roof of a high-rise building when I fear heights was frightening. I had to go up in a cage. But I am pleased to say that I conquered my fear there, and it had nothing to do that they told me there was Prosecco on the roof. Now, for those of you who don't know, there is an ancient Native American tradition to have a tree planted atop of a building in this ceremony. They believe no building should be taller than a tree. The worst bit was they asked me to water it, not with water, but with a bottle of Bradfield Farmers Blonde beer. Sacrilege. I told them so and did the only decent thing a Sheffielder would do and took a cheeky swig first. I must say, colleagues, that conquering fears is something that has been a theme for this year, and you have done your bit for me in full council. Chairing these meetings can be daunting, but I hope I have fulfilled my promise to you that I would be fair, firm, despite the odd, shall we say, friendly test you may have thrown my way. Taking the responsibility of this seriously has extended to seeking where I live my modern values as a Lord Mayor. I have grouped engagements together to cut down on travel, to reduce my carbon footprint. I use the car only when necessary and focus many of my events in the parlour, which have the added bonus of giving the people more time than ever to see our wonderful heritage of the town hall. We should never underestimate the power of this building, how much it matters to people and the stories it tells. I am pleased to have had the opportunity to give back to the people of this city through opening the People's Palace up to them a little more. And I have a little addition that is left out, a cardboard cutter of Idris Elba, which I know, Chief Executive, you were quite thrilled about, though I am sorry he is coming with me. But will be available for those who may need an Idris moment. Join the queue. So taking a modern approach is important, but so is respecting traditions that run deep in our city. I was honoured to represent our city at Remembrance Day, Armed Forces Day, attend community events on VE Day, and on behalf of the city meet Her Royal Highness the Princess Royal of Sheffield. I attended the steel cutting of HMS Sheffield in Glasgow, history made, awarded Des Smith the freedom of the city. At all these events and many others, I saw the power of the Lord Mayor in robes and chains, the dignity and history this role projects, and how that too means so much to our citizens. Tradition and the modern can and do go easily together. In fact, both are respected and given the attention they deserve. The Lord Mayor becomes stronger and more impactful because I have learnt the golden rule of being Lord Mayor. It is to be relatable and inclusive. You are the first citizen, not because you are the most important, but because you represent everyone and celebrate what matters to them, their history, their work today, and what they are trying to achieve for the city's future. Ultimately, the Lord Mayor should try to create a sense of belonging in people, a unifying force where people can be themselves at the same time feeling part of a wider community. And I will be honest, after this year, based on the people I have met, I have never felt like I belong more in Sheffield than I do today. But none of this would have been possible without three very special people. My chaplain, Joy French, who has been a tower of strength to me spiritually, and who I am now lucky enough to call my friend. Joy has accompanied me to many events where she has relished the role. I know she attended my very last citizenship ceremony and it moved her beyond words. And Joy, you are a great tramlines buddy. To my cadet Lucy, who smiled her way through ceremonies and events, which I invited to her to, with such dignity and presence, way beyond her years. She did get her own bike though last week. She took me out on the water, and I am frightened of water. And finally, my son, my consort, Thomas, who travelled up and down from London so regularly to support me. It brought back and triggered the memories of university days, but this time without the washing and the fridge emptying ritual. Well, maybe the wine. Thomas, thank you for your unwavering support, keeping me in check. He's even bossier than me, by the way. But I am not happy that you went viral across Asia after Lunar New Year with more hits than me on Instagram. Because the number of times I went to an event and the first question was, where is Thomas? Is Thomas coming? I have no idea, honestly. Seriously, I can't thank you enough, Tom. It's been an honour to be able to share this experience with you, and it will be a lasting memory for us both. My final words are a thank you to you all, the civic team, Stephen, Julie, Helen, and Son, and all the others that filled in. My colleagues, the wider council staff, for supporting me over this year and giving me this wonderful honour and opportunity to serve our city. Thank you again. And as I said when I became Lord Mayor, I wanted to make a little bit of magic happen, and I hope I did. Thank you.
And now we will be presenting a former consort badge to the retired consort, Mr. Thomas Dunn. And now Thomas will have the opportunity to respond. Thank you.
Thank you. Lord Mayor, distinguished guests, wonderful children. I understand that by tradition that this speech should be kept short, and that however daunted I feel at delivering it, everyone else will be just as alarmed if I go beyond a few minutes. So, I promise to keep my reflections very, very brief indeed. I must admit that I didn't really know what to expect of the role of the Lord Mayor's consort. I didn't know much about it when Mum became the Lord Mayor, and my explanation of the whole affair was limited to answering a question from someone at work as to why Mum wasn't the Lady Mayoress, with, well, that's because I am the Lady Mayoress of Sheffield, which set up a few confused eyebrows indeed. But quite quickly, I understood the role as to do all I can to help the Lord Mayor in her mission, and the mission of every Lord Mayor, which is to show how wonderful this city and its people are. And if I may say so, thanks to the retiring Lord Mayor's proactive and, shall we say, energetic style and diary, we've been able to do this across a great variety of causes. Accumulating the Lord Mayor's wrap party, which is a celebration here in this beautiful town hall of so many community groups, charities, representative industry and public institutions and more, where people came together and cemented friendships and connections that I think will live on well beyond this one civic year. Now, as a man who spends too much time living in London, which I've been told by every single Sheffielder who has discovered this fact as I've been going about my duties, I will admit that the breadth and depth of what Sheffield has to offer has opened my eyes and taken me a little bit by surprise. Sheffield has a diverse community that doesn't just celebrate individual events, but opens them up for all, and that's, I think, incredibly unique. From Diwali, Holi, the excellent Lunar New Year celebrations, the first iftar in our town hall, tramlines, community opera nights, V-Day community teas in Southie, the celebration of the Botanical Gardens, this year's unveiling of commemorations to Sheffield's unique football heritage, the Shine Awards, which celebrated our amazing NHS staff, to engagements promoting causes and raising awareness for homelessness and the most vulnerable and more of all marked out this year. I've also really felt it an honour to take part in representing the city with the Lord Mayor at events that hold deep meaning to so many, such as the Holocaust Memorial Day service in the synagogue, the cathedral service for HMS Sheffield, and of course Remembrance Day. And over the last year, I've really seen the impact that having a Lord Mayor can have, and one that is so relatable to a city. It's really made an impression on me just how much this can offer to normal everyday people. And I would reflect that sometimes it can be easy to forget that for those who live a life away from public institutions and offices, that it is incredibly special to meet the Lord Mayor. I've noticed that people find it incredibly important that the top brass of the city just says thank you or well done, that recognises you, but shows everyone around you that you and your cause matters, that gives you a seal of approval and acceptance from an institution that doesn't just continue through decades, but continues through centuries. And over the last year, I've really come to realise how powerful and needed that is by normal everyday people. trying to make that happen for as many people as possible, across as many communities as possible, is something that Mum has really tried to push over her term. And in my view, if I may say so, I think she's done it with great success, and we're all very proud of her. Now, I understand that we are the first mother and son team, potentially, and we are handing over to the second, so you can't have too much of a good thing, as people say. But a word of warning. There may be the odd occasion that is slightly unusual for a mum and son team to attend, such as when we're invited to give out awards to couples for long-lasting romance. Next to a love candle. So be prepared for anything, but I am pleased to report that any teenage moodiness or mortification that I have about talking about relationships and romance in front of my mother did not return, and the event was lovely and the people incredibly kind. Throughout it all, it's been a true honour to support the Lord Mayor over the last civic year, not just engagements, but as a son too. And in that regard, my duties have mainly been limited to advising on which outfit for which occasion. And I can assure the council and all her colleagues that the house's wardrobes, cupboards, every crevice, every single inch you can possibly imagine is more full with clothes than you can possibly imagine, that it's starting to look like hoarding, but I will stop now before I get a look. In any case, I hope I've done my duty well. I'll remember this experience and how important this institution is and this special city for the rest of my life. Of course, I would have fallen flat on my face without the wonderful team of dedicated public servants in the civic office who work incredibly hard, and I'm really grateful to all of them for their support to me personally over the last year. And finally, good luck to the new Lord Mayor and Lord Mayor's consort as they take on the baton in this historic relay race to deliver what I'm sure will be a unique and remarkable year ahead. Thank you very much.
We've got more exciting news. Now we'll be calling Councillor Cliff Woodcroft, who will formally move that Councillor Andrew Sangar, MBE, will be appointed as the Deputy Lord Mayor of the City of Sheffield for the year 2025 and 2026. Thank you.
Lord Mayor, councillors, distinguished guests, it gives me great pleasure to formally propose my ward colleague Andrew Sangar as Deputy Lord Mayor for the year 25-26.
I would like to call upon Councillor Mike Chaplin, who will formally second the motion.
Madam Lord Mayor, distinguished guests, ladies, gentlemen, children and fellow councillors, it is my pleasure and honour to second the motion for Andrew Sangar to be the next Deputy Lord Mayor.
Members of the Sheffield City Council to vote by show of hands. All in favour? All against? Any abstaining? I now declare Councillor Andrew Sangar, MBE, appointed as the Deputy Lord Mayor with a badge of office. Beautiful. I'm just going to declare it.
I, Councillor Andrew Sangar, having been appointed to the office of Deputy Lord Mayor of the City of Sheffield, hereby declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the code as to conduct that is expected of members of the Sheffield City Council.
I will now appoint the Lord Mayor's chaplain, Cumran Munir, and will invest them with their badge and the office. Thank you. It helps when you're not tall, you know. Cumran will now respond.
Well, I did have good morning on my piece of paper, but it's now good afternoon. Beautiful people of Sheffield and the beautiful city of Sheffield. What an amazing occasion. And I would first like to thank, of course, His Royal Highness, whose symbol is there on the table, the Sheffield City Council, and all of the Lord Mayor's office workers for bringing this all together. In 2 minutes, I've been told that I must say what I need to say, so hold on to your seats. I'm going to do a hypersonic speech. Now, that was a comedic oxymoron, if there ever was one. What a phenomenal achievement. Well done, councillors, for nominating Safia Said as the first woman of colour who of Somalian origin and who is a practicing Muslim to serve Sheffield as its new Lord Mayor. And a round of applause to all the councillors. I must say, what a milestone, and as the great wartime leader Winston Churchill said, to each there comes in their life time or a special moment when they are figuratively tapped on the shoulder and offered the choice to do a very special thing. And what a tragedy it would be if that moment found them unprepared or unqualified for their finest hour. And I believe this is one of the finest hours for Sheffield. And a round of applause again. So introduce myself. My name is Cameron Munir. I am of Kashmiri heritage. I am currently the chaplain to HMP Moorlands and the chaplain to Sheffield Health and Social Care. A child of migrant parents, the late Haji Munir, and my mother, of course, Frida Bibi here. And I'm joined again with my family, with my wife, with my children and my siblings. Sheffield is home and always has been, the city of sanctuary. And my faith led me always to support the underprivileged and the underrepresented. My key focus have always been to support the youth, to support women in their mission to be heard, and in issues faced by those who have been marginalized in society. And thank God for this privilege and for this honor. I've known Safia from childhood. As children, we came in and out of our houses at a whim, often troubling our parents, causing them problems, and causing a right old racket. But however, we were always embraced with love and compassion. And through this, we grew together, supported each other, we laughed together, we've cried many times together. And through the resilience that we developed, and through the passion of life that we did, we broke through the glass ceilings, and we overcame the obstacles. I'm both humbled and honoured that Safia, the councillor, and now the new Lord Mayor, invited me to be her chaplain. I hope that Uncle Said, Safia's late father, and my late father, who now look upon us from the heavens, and I hope they're looking at each other and saying, these kids have finally made good of themselves. But anyway, on this departing note, they's done right well for themselves, Safia. Go out and show them how it's done in Safia style. Thank you very much.
thank you very much for today, and thank you for everyone that joined us today in this historical moment for our lives. And we are here to learn from you, and we will continue to support each other, as I am myself very new to this. I have a civic celebration on the 31st of May. Those that got the invitation have already got it. Those that haven't, I expect a present from you, actually. So thank you so much for today, and please have fun. Thank you.
Ask the choir to leave first, please.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to see you today. Very high, so I can get used to this. May I welcome members of the viewing public to this annual meeting of the council. Item number 5, welcome and housekeeping announcements. Please can I ask Monitoring Officer David Hollis to announce the housekeeping arrangement.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Please can I request members of the public familiarise themselves with the fire safety and evacuation notices displayed in the public gallery. In the event of the fire alarm sounding, please take instruction from the security attendants who will be in attendance throughout the meeting. Please can I also request everyone to switch electronic devices to silent mode so as not to disturb the conduct of the meeting. Today's meeting will be webcast and recording will be available for people to view later through the council's website. It is also possible that Sheffield Live TV will record and rebroadcast this meeting. Webcasting notices providing further information are displayed in the public gallery. Members of the public are permitted to take photographs and to film or audio record the meeting, but the Lord Mayor, as chair of this meeting, does have discretion to withdraw or suspend this permission if the recording is disrupting the conduct of the meeting, is being undertaken in a manner which would capture personal information. Finally, please may I request for safety reasons that no recording equipment or other object is held over the balcony from the public gallery. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Before commencing item 6 on the agenda, please can I ask whether there are any additional apologies of absence for members of the council which were not reported in the morning part of this meeting. Item 6, exclusion of the press and the public. There are no items of business on the agenda for the meeting where resolutions may be moved to exclude the press and public. Item number 7, declaration of interest. This item of business is to enable members of the council to declare an interest if in any item of the agenda. Does any member wish to declare an interest? Thank you. Item number 8, to appoint a leader of the council for the years of 2025 and 2026. Are there any nomination for leader of the council?
Lord Mayor, I'd like to nominate Councillor Martin Smith.
Thank you. Any nomination?
Lord Mayor, I'd like to second that nomination.
Thank you.
Lord Mayor?
Councillor Dodd?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Angela Argentio, because if she can lead the Green Group, she can easily lead a council.
Thank you.
I'd like to second that, Lord Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Diamond.
Lord Mayor? Lord Mayor, I'd like to nominate Councillor Tom Hunt for leader.
Anybody would second that? Councillor Talib?
Second that.
Thank you, Councillor Hussain. Can I ask David if he can read the outline of what we're going to be doing with the voting procedures, please?
Thank you. The voting procedure is as follows. 2 phases of voting may be required. The electronic voting system will be used for both votes. Vote 1, members will choose between the 3 candidates by casting vote either in favour of candidate 1 or candidate 2 or candidate 3. The Lord Mayor will announce which candidate is candidate 1, which candidate is candidate 2 and which candidate is candidate 3. The Lord Mayor will let members know which coloured button on their voting handset to use for each candidate. These should be chosen to correspond to the party colours of the candidates. If there's not a clear majority of votes in favour of one person, then the candidate who has achieved the lowest number of votes for will be eliminated and the remaining candidates will proceed to the next vote. If there is a clear majority of votes in favour of one candidate, then that candidate will be appointed to the position and voting will then stop. If we proceed to a second phase of voting, a final vote will be held. Members will choose between the remaining 2 candidates by casting a vote either in favour of candidate A or candidate B, or will abstain. The Lord Mayor will announce which is candidate A and which is candidate B. The Lord Mayor will let members know which coloured button on their voting handset to use for each candidate. These should be chosen to correspond to the party colours of the candidates. The remaining colour will be used for abstentions. The candidate that receives the highest number of votes will be appointed to the position. Voting will then stop. If both candidates receive the same number of votes, the Lord Mayor will have a casting vote.
Thank you, David. May I remind members of the vote is to choose either candidate. Candidate 1, Councillor Hunt. Candidate 2, Councillor Smith. Okay. Councillor 3, Councillor Argentio. The colours of the buttons are Councillor Hutt, red. Councillor Smith, yellow. Councillor Argentio, green. Can I ask that the vote be commenced now and request that members complete the 2 steps of the vote process within 1 minute? Thank you.
Lord Mayor, where will we have a chance to abstain? Just for clarification, Lord Mayor.
If you choose not to vote, that would identify as abstention. Thank you, Councillor Fox.
Yeah, we haven't.
Hi, can everybody double check we're missing 2 votes?
Someone's pressed.
Someone has registered to vote but not actually voted. Yeah.
I believe that Councillor Denise Fox might have registered to vote but not indicated, so I believe in an abstention there.
Thank you. We're just going to have to call it. So members voted for Councillor Hunt. We've got 34. Members voted for Councillor Smith. We've got 28. And Councillor Ogenzio have got 14. We now move to the second stage of vote. That no candidate received a majority of the votes, and therefore a final vote will be held. Councillor Ogenzio received the lowest number of votes and therefore is eliminated from the final vote. Thank you. So we're going to move vote number 2. May I remind members of the vote is to choose either Councillor Hunt, red, Councillor Smith, yellow, and the green will be the abstention button this time. Thank you. Can I give you the final reminder to check, please? I'm going to call it 78 votes, 78 buttons. People have pressed buttons. 34, Councillor Hunt, and 28, Councillor Smith. 16 abstain. Councillor Hunt received most votes and is therefore appointed as the leader of the council until the date of the next annual meeting, 2026. Congratulations. Item number 9, to appoint a deputy leader of the council for the years 2025-2026. Seeking nominations. Are there any nomination for deputy leader of the council? Councillor Diamond.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. I'd like to nominate...
Thank you. Can I get a second? Councillor Right, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Lord Mayor. I would like to second Councillor Angela Orgenzio for Deputy Leader.
Thank you. Any more nomination? Councillor Lee?
Could I nominate Councillor Van Bell, please?
Thank you. Can I get a seconder? Ibiola? Thank you. Any more nominations? Thank you. Can I ask David if he can read the procedures for us for this vote?
Lord Mayor, to outline the voting procedure is set out below. A single round of voting will be held. Members will choose between the two candidates by casting a vote either in favour of candidate 1 or candidate 2, or will abstain. The electronic voting system will be used. The Lord Mayor will announce which candidate is candidate 1 and which candidate is candidate 2. The Lord Mayor will let members know which coloured button on their voting handset to use for each candidate. These should be chosen to correspond to the party colours of the candidates. The remaining colours will be used for abstentions. The candidate that receives the higher number of votes will be appointed to the position. Voting will then stop. If both candidates receive the same number of votes, the Lord Mayor will have a casting vote.
Thank you. May I remind members that the vote is to choose either Councillor Balbin for red or Councillor Orgenzio for green and abstain for the yellow. Abstain for the yellow. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to call it. Member voted for candidate Councillor Belbin. Red is 34. Members voted for candidate Orgenzio. Green is 14. And abstain is yellow for 30. To announce that Councillor Fran Belbin to receive the most vote and therefore appointed as Deputy Leader of the Council until the date of the next annual meeting of the Council 2026. Congratulations. Item 10, any announcements? I'm going to call the new councillor leader if you would like to say a few words. Councillor Hunt.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Thank you. I'm really honoured to be re-elected to lead this council. And let me first offer my personal congratulations to you, Lord Mayor. It was a really joyful occasion and a historic occasion for our city this morning. And we all look forward to working with you and serving under you as chair this year. Look, Lord Mayor, it is our job for all of us to create the conditions for people in our city to be able to thrive. The people of Sheffield are bursting with talent, and together we must break down the opportunities that prevent too many people from fulfilling their potential and living a happy, healthy life. And we must work to give people more control over the things that matter to them. I know that in this chamber, right across this council, there is a shared commitment to do that. And Lord Mayor, I am pleased that we've agreed an administration to continue to provide stable, competent governance and strong leadership for the city. We don't always agree in this chamber, but I do know that there is a shared commitment to serving the people that have elected us and always acting in the interests of Sheffield. So we will continue the work that we've started and as an administration, always acting on the priorities of residents, to build the new homes that we so badly need. Continuing our work to regenerate our city by overseeing the ongoing transformation of our city centre. As we prepare for our buses coming back under public control, we must continue our work to continue to improve public transport and make it easier and safer to get around our city. We must work to make sure that Sheffield's children and young people feel secure and safe in their lives. We have a responsibility to ensure that every young person has the opportunity to succeed, whatever their postcode, their income, or the challenges that they face. We must work to bring in investment, working with the government, with the regional mayor, with the private sector, and with our communities. We must work to create new jobs and make Sheffield's neighbourhoods cleaner, greener, and safer. We must continue our work to improve the council's services, always spending money wisely, and ensure that our politics in Sheffield and in this chamber is done in a competent and a transparent way with strong, credible leadership. And we must work to bring people together. I am proud that Sheffield, our city, our home, is home to many communities and faiths. Let it be said, our diversity is our strength, and we must always oppose those who seek to divide us. This year, as we plan our work and our budgets, investment must go to tackling the root causes of the challenges that residents face. Early intervention and prevention. Better for our residents, better for this council's budget. And that goes for particularly in our most disadvantaged communities. Lord Mayor, let me end with this. It is a difficult time. It remains a difficult time for many people in our city. As politicians, it is our job to be clear-eyed about the challenges that we face, but crucially, to do all we can to address them, to provide people with hope. And that means working together, to get the economy growing, to put more cash in people's pockets, to provide services that provide support and nurture people at every stage of their life, and to help everyone to thrive. I am crystal clear that as a city, our better days are ahead of us, and I look forward to working with all of you to make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Hunt, and congratulations again. Item 11, changes of the Council's constitution. This item of business is to approve changes of the Council constitution. The changes include recommendation made by the Governance Committee in respect of changes to how urgent business is managed in the committee system, and the recommendation of the Finance and Performance Policy Committee. In respect of the annual review of financial procedures rules, financial regulation. Details of all the proposed changes are set out in the report of the General Council, which was published with the agenda of the meeting. A few paper copies are available in the Council chamber. A mention to approve the recommendations in the report has been circulated at the meeting. No proposed amendments have been received. A revised Appendix 1, which corrects the administrative error in the version published in the report, is attached to the motion. May I call on Councillor Fran Belvin to move the motion?
Thank you, Lord Mayor. I'll say a little bit more on the next item, but I think the changes here are fairly straightforward, and as you have already said, have already been discussed at the Governance Committee and Finance and Performance Committee. So the financial changes mainly relate to bringing up the Constitution to be up to speed with the Procurement Act of 2023, and then we have made some small changes to the constitution of the Health Scrutiny Subcommittee to make sure that more members can attend that from other committees. And finally, just in terms of urgent business, we have dispensed with the need for urgency subcommittees, which hardly ever had to meet anyway, and instead we'll be making use of additional meetings of committees if required to make urgent decisions. Thanks.
Thank you. May I call Sue Alliston to second the motion, please?
Thank you, Lord Mayor. I'm happy to second this motion. I think it makes some sensible changes and would encourage members to vote in favour. Thank you.
Does any members wish to speak? I am now going to move to the vote of the motion, which will be conducted using electronic voting system, unless we have anonymous support for the motion. In this motion, is this motion agreed? I will take the silence and the yes and the humming as affirmation of the meeting. If any members wishes to dissent, please raise your hand. The motion is carried. A vote shall be... No? Item number 12, reviewing policy committee remits. This item of business is to consider recommendation made by the Governance Committee following its review of the remits of the Council Policy Committees. The recommendation made by the Governance Committee and the details of the key themes and the findings of the committee review are set out in the report of the General Council, which was published with the agenda for the meeting. A few paper copies are available in the Council's chamber. In addition to the proposed renaming of the Economic Development and Skills Policy Committee, the proposal for revised scheme of delegation, which would be subject to further engagement with members and officers and further reports for Governance Committee in 2025-2026 for the implementation from May 2026. A motion to approve the recommendations in the report has been circulated at the meeting. This motion also includes a proposed new name of the Waste and Street Scene Policy Committee. No proposed amendment have been received. Go for it. May I call Councillor Fran Belbin to move the motion?
Thank you, Lord Mayor. As the outgoing chair of the Governance Committee, I did want to take this opportunity just to thank all the members of the committee and all the officers who have supported the committee over the last year, and particularly to acknowledge the work of Councillor Julie Grocott, who has been on the Governance Committee ever since its inception until she stood down a couple of weeks ago and always contributed incredibly helpfully to those meetings. So thank you to her. Over the last year, the committee has done a lot of work around community engagement that's fed into the community strategy, but our other key piece of work has been this one on committee remits. This work is not concluded. We expect it to continue under the capable leadership of the new chair. But the purpose of the remits work has really been to follow on from the implementation of the committee system that's now embedded in how we work in this council, so that whatever the political makeup of the council, it ensures that there is cross-party decision-making, involvement in our decision-making. Most of the recommendations that you'll read in the report are about improving working practices rather than making big changes to the Constitution. And our work covered not only what policies and service areas sit under each committee, but also ensuring that committees are making the time and the space available to really consider issues thoroughly, from policy development through to review of how they work in practice, and crucially also how to engage and involve our citizens where there is a clear public interest, and to allow citizens to contribute meaningfully to our decision making.
So the recommendations around work planning and consistent work practices, around committee papers, etc., should allow us to build in time for that kind of public involvement. And we've also committed to continuing the review of remits to consider other ways to free up time and ensure that decisions that matter get the scrutiny and involvement they deserve. And part of the proposals here are for the monitoring officer to draw up a scheme of delegation to come back to this council. You've also mentioned some of the specific renaming of committees to rename Economic Development and Skills and Culture, and to rename Waste and Street Scene to Environmental Services and Regulation, in the interest of making committee remits more transparent to the public. So thank you again, everybody who contributed to this work, and we look forward to continuing the work in the new municipal year.
Thank you very much. May I call Councillor Sue Alliston to second the motion, please?
Thank you, Lord Mayor. I'm happy to second this motion. The work that we've started on remits is by no means complete, and most of the report details further work that the Governance Committee will need to undertake over the next year. But happy to support the items we have on this report, and trust members will vote for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does any member wish to speak?
Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Gilbert. Sorry.
I understand we haven't put an amendment on this renaming of Waste and Street Scene. I do welcome the work that's going to happen on rejiggling the remits. I feel that it's premature to rename committees before that work has been conducted, and specifically with Waste and Street Scene. I think it's really important that we try to make clear to the people out there what our committees do. And Waste, Environmental Services and Regulation ignores the £2.2 billion Streets Ahead contract entirely. And I understand that Street Scene is also rather confusing for people, but I don't feel that Environmental Services and Regulation even nods the head to the Streets Ahead contract. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gilbert. Anyone else wish to speak? Yes. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Yes, so we had a discussion about this rename amongst the groups at Waste and Street Scene. I understand the Greens didn't agree to it, but the other parties did. I would say that Councillor Gilbert ought to know, being a member of Waste and Street Scene now, or now Environmental Services and Regulation, or soon to be, that the AMI contract does include a great deal of cleansing itself, the clearing up of litter and clearing up of fly tipping and emptying of bins, which is certainly, not something that, if you include those, we are not ignoring that contract entirely. Now, I think in the broader sense, actually having smooth roads and safe pavements is also are also aspects of a good environment, and therefore it is a service to the quality of the environment that people enjoy, that they have roads that are safe and pleasant to use. So it's a stretch perhaps on that particular point, but if you look at the whole breadth of the committee, as you should be aware, the whole breadth of the committee's work, all the work done by the Environmental Regulation, Environmental Protection Service team, we felt this was actually a much better name to cover the whole breadth of what the committee does that Waste and Street Scene simply didn't. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Otten. Anybody else wants to speak? I am now going to move to the vote on the motion, which will be conducted using electronic voting system unless we have anonymous support of the motion. Are we all agreed to this motion? Anybody does not agree? That's good. If any members wish to dissent, please raise your hand. Gilbert is not. Yeah, which one? Thank you. A vote shall be conducted using the electronic voting system, please.
Thank you. We'd like to vote in part, so we're but apart from the change to name of Wasting Streeting. For the motion, but against parts of.
Can we start the vote? Thank you. I'm going to call it, if that's okay. Can we settle down, please? Okay. Okay. Councillor Gilbert. 75 for, none against, and 4 abstained. This motion is carried. Thank you. Item 13, establishment of the council committees for the year 2025-2026, appointment of members to serve on those committees. This item of business is to establish council committees and approve the appointment of members to serve on those committees for the year 2025 to 2026. A report of the General Council outlining the legal requirements to allocate seats on the council committees to political groups on a politically proportionate basis was circulated to members of the council and published on the council website on Tuesday. This update report replaced the version which was published with the agenda for the meeting. A few copies of the updates report are available in the council chambers. A motion to establish and appoint members of the council committees in 2025 to 2026 has been circulated at the meeting. There are no proposed amendments. There is a maximum of time of 25 minutes for this item. Can I call Councillor Mary Lee to move the motion?
Formally, Lord Mayor.
Can I call Councillor Joe Otten to second the motion?
Formally seconded, Lord Mayor.
Thank you. Does any member wish to speak? I am now going to move to the vote on the motion, which will be conducted using the electronic voting system, unless we have unanimous support of the motion. Is this motion agreed? The motion is carried anonymously. Next item number 14, appointing of chairs and deputy chairs for certain council committees for the year 2025 to 2026. A motion to appoint the chair, deputy chair, and group spokespersons for each policy committee, and the chair and deputy chair of the regularity committees and other council committees in 2025 to 2026, with nominations set out in the schedule accompanying the motion, has been circulated in the meeting. The chairs and the deputy chairs of the council's local area committees will be appointed at the first meetings of those committees, which will follow at the conclusion of this annual meeting of the council. There are no proposed amendments. There is a maximum of limited 25 minutes for this item. Can I call Councillor Mary Lee to move the motion?
Formally moved, Lord Mayor.
Can I call Councillor Joe Otten to second the motion?
Formally seconded, Lord Mayor.
Does any members wish to speak? We shall now vote on the motion. Is the motion agreed?
Agreed.
Motion is carried anonymously. Item number 15, appointing the council panels, working group, etc., and the external bodies for the year 2025 and 2026. A motion to establish and appointed members to council panels, which group, etc., and to appoint members to external bodies 2025 in 2025-2026, with nominations set out in the schedule accompanying the motion has been circulated at the meeting. There are no proposed amendments. There is a maximum limited of 25 minutes for this item. Can I call Councillor Mary Lee to move the motion?
Formally moved, Lord Mayor.
Can I call Councillor Joe Otten to second the motion?
Seconded, Lord Mayor. In seconding, I'm happy to accept, our group's happy to accept the nomination of Mark Whittaker for the National Association of British Market Authorities. It's a position I held last year, but I'm happy to give this up. Mark is, I think, an ex-market trader. He's contributed to the working group that we held at Waste and Street Scene Committee, being responsible for the council's markets. You wouldn't guess, I suppose, from the name, from either of the names, would you, Waste and Street Scene or Environmental Services and Regulation, but we do have markets under us. But so, yeah, I'm happy to accept that, so that can be resolved. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Otten. That's very kind of you, and we will build it in. Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. There's some green vacancies that I'd like to fill. So we've got page 3, Sheffield Conservation Advisory Group. That will be Councillor Nottage. On page 5, South Yorkshire Joint Advisory Committee on Archives, there's a green vacancy. That will be Councillor Holmshaw. And then on page 9, the Sheffield Health and Social Care Foundation Trust Council of Governors. That will be Councillor Gilligan Cubo. And then on page 10, Sheffield Media and Exhibition Centre. That'll be Councillor Mercereau. And just a query on page 8 for the National Football Trust Advisory. There's a vacancy there. Can we nominate somebody for that?
Councillor Belbin?
There is a vacancy on the Football Trust. We'd like to propose Councillor Ribby Uller.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we'd like to nominate Councillor Murray for Alf.
Thank you so much.
As well.
I've been advised that because there's 2 nominations, we're going to build something in later on after this meeting, if that's okay. Thank you. Anything else?
Just on page 3, on page 1, we'd like to nominate Janet Riddler for the Heritage Post and Nabila Malama for Migration Champion.
Thank you. Multiple nominations, we'll deal with them later on if that's okay.
Take these votes today.
So we're not sure how many these are that to put through, so if we can adjourn and we can get some advice and some script in terms of putting those people through, that would be great.
I'm not sure what you understand what you're saying, Lord Mayor. We'd like to put these through today, vote today.
So we know which ones we're talking about.
Yeah. Then we need to adjourn the meeting so we can have a conversation and then put a script together for myself so we know what we could put together, if that's okay. Bring them forward. Is that okay? So, have you noted? What should put down? Go ahead, go. Yeah.
If it's helpful, I think the football one always has lots of interest, and there was a previous suggestion that perhaps we could ask if that could be extended to 3 places, and then each group could have a place on that. Could be a conversation. We could postpone that, see if officers could discuss that with the football board.
Because these are bodies that have been already offered to us, we won't be able to solve them today, but I'm very happy to have that discussion with you later on in another scope.
Lord Mayor, thank you. If it's in order to be helpful, I think we agree with holding over the football one. We are happy to put the heritage and migration ones to a vote today.
We will still need to adjourn because we need to really have a good, fair discussion about this. What we're going to do is that we carry on with this motion, keep reading it, and then we'll have that 10 minutes break and then come back with better result in terms of the scripts and check with the legals as well. That's okay, yeah? So while I conduct the second part of this meeting, Paul can go and do some checking for us. Just be patient, please. We shall now vote on the motion. Is the motion carried?
Mayor, can you just explain, just give us some clarity about what's happening, because I'm not sure which we're voting for and what we're not voting for at this minute.
Correct. So what we're going to do is that we freeze item 15, we'll move on to number 16, and then we'll come back to 15, if that's okay. Because it's a curveball, so we need to fix it. Okay, so item 16, dates of the council of the committee meeting in the year 2025 to 2026. A proposed schedule of the council and the committee meetings for 2025-2026, together with motions to approve the schedule of the meeting has been circulated at the meeting. There are no proposed amendment. There is a maximum time limited of 25 minutes on this item. May I call Councillor Joe Orton to move the motion?
Formally moved, Lord Mayor.
Thank you. May I call Councillor Alexi Diamond to second the motion?
Formally, Lord Mayor.
Does any members wish to speak? We shall now vote for the motion. Is the motion agreed? I will take, the motion is carried. Thank you. Item 17, notice of motion at the council meeting in the year 2025 to 2026. A motion to agree the order in which notices of motion will be listed on the council summons for ordinary meeting of the council in 2025 and 2026 has been circulated at the meeting. There are no proposed amendments. There is a maximum of 25 minutes for this item. Excuse me. May I call Councillor Mary Lee to move the motion?
Formally moved, Lord Mayor.
May I call Councillor Joe Otten to second the motion?
Formally seconded, Lord Mayor.
Excuse me. Does any members wish to speak? The motion's carried. May I propose that the council passes a resolution for thanks for the service provided to the council by former councillor Julie Colcott, following her resignation on 6th of May 2025. Is that agreed? Thank you. As a Lord Mayor, I propose to write to former councillor Julie Colcott to thank her for her service. If any members of the council, her service. If any members of the council wishes to provide their own written messages to thank her for her work of former councillor, then please supply it with the Lord Mayor office. Those messages will be turned to convey to Julie along with my own letter for thanks. We propose we have a 15 minutes break so I can catch my breath and we can have that discussion about how we will carry on for the part 2. Thank you. 15 minutes, please. And we'll just start. We're going to go back to item 15, if that's okay. Appointments to council panels. So I'm just going to read it again. I'm going to go through that. So items number 15, appointing to the council panels, working groups, etc., and to external bodies for the year 2025 and 2026. A motion to establish and appoint members of the council panels, working groups, etc., and to appoint members to external bodies in 2025 and 2026 with nominations set out in the schedule accompanying the motion has been circulated at the council meeting and added right now. There are no proposed amendments other than what we had the conversation about in the break time. Right.
Lord Mayor, just on page 11, could we just include Karen McGowan for the University Technical College Trust Board, please?
Noted, and thank you. Councillor Denise Fox wanted to clarify a position.
Yeah, thank you, Lord Mayor. Can we change the licensing take Terry Fox off the licensing, please, and leave that as a vacancy? And also add education as Councillor Weatherall on, please. And I don't know what page that's on, sorry.
Thank you, Councillor Fox. Okay, so we have moved by Councillor Lee and second by Councillor Otten before, so we're just going to go for a vote for now for the motion. Is the motion agreed? No?
We're coming back to...
This is agree of what we've just mentioned, not for everything. Okay, just to clarify, sorry.
Clarify for people what we're voting, that we're taking those other two out.
We've just voted on everything that we agreed. We're coming back for the heritage and the migrant positions. Is that okay, Ruth?
Probably moved on there.
Are we in agreement now, please? Yeah? All are good? Councillor Douglas? We're going to come back to that one. Yeah, so we're going to follow Alex here right now. Yeah, he's not. Is that okay? So we're going to go for voting.
So that's agreed.
That's all agreed and carried. So far, so good?
So now going to...
Okay, so now we're going to go for the champions, the heritage and the migrant champion. And David is going to read the process that we're going to follow. Okay?
Thank you, Lord Mayor. The process for both positions will be the same because we have two candidates. So a single round of voting will be held. Members will choose between the two candidates by casting a vote either in favour of candidate 1 or candidate 2, or will abstain. The electronic voting system will be used. The Lord Mayor will announce which candidate is candidate 1 and which candidate is candidate 2. The Lord Mayor will let members know which coloured button on their voting handset to use for each candidate. These should be chosen to correspond to the party colours of the candidates. The remaining colour will be used for abstentions. The candidate that receives a higher number of votes will be appointed to the position. Voting will then stop. If both candidates receive the same number of votes, the Lord Mayor will have a casting vote.
Thank you. We're going to go for the heritage one first. May I remind members of the vote is to choose either candidate 1, Councillor Riddler, red button. And then candidate 2, Councillor Holmeshaw, green button, and yellow to abstain. Thank you. Thank you. So Councillor Riddler got 60 in red, and Councillor Holmeshaw got 16 in green, and 1 abstain. Motion is carried, and the vote is carried. So Janet is appointed. Congratulations, Janet. We're going to have to do it again for the migrant champion. Nabila will be in red, Alexi green, and yellow abstain. Thank you. So three have registered but not voted. 3 people. Thank you. So Nabila, 58, Alexi, 18, and 2 abstain. I hereby appoint Nabila to a new position of migrant champion. Thank you, Nabila. Congratulations. Well, this concludes the business of annual meeting of the council, the first meeting of the council, local area committees, and of the strategy and resources, and the adult health and social care policy committee will follow. This will be where the chairs and the deputy chairs of the local area committee will be appointed and the frequencies of the meetings agreed, and where the subcommittees of the policy committees will be established and their chairs and the deputy chairs appointed. May I remind members that only the members of the local area committee concerned can speak and vote on the motion related to that committee. Meeting number 1, Central Local Area Committee. It is to be formally moved by Councillor Douglas Johnson and formally seconded by Christine Gillian Cooper. I'm so bad with names, I'm so sorry. That Councillor Brian Humshaw is appointed chair and Councillor Malachi Havey will be appointed deputy chair of the local area committee. The meetings of the committee will be held the last 4 times per year, at least 4 times per year, and on the dates and the times will be determined by the chair in accordance with the schedule of council and committee members for the year 2025 and 2026. approved at the annual meeting of the council. Councillor Johnson?
Formally moved, Lord Mayor, and you're doing fine with the pronunciations.
Thank you. At least I'm not calling people Shonid Mohammed, so I'm good. Councillor Kubu?
Formally seconded, Lord Mayor.
Does any of the members of the committee wish to speak? All of those in favour of the motion, please raise your hand. All of those against? Any abstention? The motion is carried. I am now going to move to...
With the hands from the committee.
Sorry, with the hands from the committee. I'm sorry, with the hands outside the committee. Okay, let's behave, people. I'm confused as it is today's first day. Cut me some slack. I'm now going to move to the vote of the motion. He's not fully awake today. Meeting number 2, Local and East Local Area Committee. It is to be formally moved by Councillor Mohan and formally seconded by Councillor Ben Miskell. Councillor Mary Lee to be appointed as a chair and Councillor Nabila Maulana be appointed as a deputy chair of the East Local Area Committee, and the meetings of the committee be held at least 4 times per year on dates and the times to be determined by the chair in the accordance with the schedule of the council and the committee's meetings for the year 2025 to 2026, approved at the annual meeting of the council. Councillor Mayhan.
Formally, Lord Mayor.
Councillor Miskell.
Formally, Lord Mayor.
Does any of the members of the committee wish to speak? Only the committee. Cool. All of those in favour of the motion, please raise your hand. All of those against? I saw you, Maya. Anybody abstain? No? The motion is carried. Meeting number 3, North Local Area Committee. It is to be formally moved by Councillor Penny Baker and formally seconded by Councillor Mike Livy that Councillor Alan Hooper be appointed as the chair of local Councillor Anne Whittaker and Councillor Anne Whittaker to be appointed as deputy chair of the North Local Area Committee, and the meetings of the committees be held at least 4 times a year and dates and times to be determined by the chair in the accordance of the with the schedule of council and committee meetings of the year 2025 and 2026, approved at the annual meeting of the council. Councillor Baker.
Formally moved, Lord Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Levi.
Formally seconded, Lord Mayor.
Thank you. Does any of the member of the committee wish to speak? All of those in favour, show your hands. Any against? Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Meeting number 4, North East Local Area Committee. That's us. It is the formally moved to the Councillor Fran Belbin and formally seconded by Councillor Mike Chaplin that Councillor Jane Dunn to be appointed as chair and Councillor Talib Hussain appointed as deputy chair of the North East Local Area Committee, and the meetings of the committee be held at least 4 times a year on a date and times to be appointed by the chair in accordance with the schedule of council and committee meetings for the year 2025 and 2026, approved at the annual meeting of the council. Councillor Belbin.
Formally moved, Lord Mayor.
Councillor Chaplin.
Formally seconded, Lord Mayor.
Does any member of the committee wishes to speak? All of those in favour of the motion, raise your hand or say yes. Thank you. All of those against? Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Meeting number 5, South Local Area Committee. It is formally moved by Councillor Steve Iris and formally seconded by Councillor Mohammed Maroof that Councillors Simmons Jones be appointed Chair and Councillor Richard Shaw be appointed Deputy Chair of South Local Area Committee, and meetings of the committee be held at least 4 times per year and date and times to be determined by the Chair, in accordance of the schedule of Council and Committee meetings for the year 2025 and 2026, approved at the annual meeting of the Council. Councillor Iris?
Formally moved, Lord Mayor.
Councillor Maroof?
Formally seconded, Lord Mayor.
Does any member wishes to speak? Councillor Alex.
Thanks, Lord Mayor. I'd like to nominate Councillor Turpin as Chair of the Committee and Councillor Elliott as Deputy Chair of the Committee, please.
Second.
Formally seconded.
Thank you. Who's seconding it? Sorry, I apologise. Okay, thank you. So for this one, we have to go back to the voting system again, if that's okay. So we're going to move to the voting system. So we're going to go for Councillor Simon Clement Jones and Councillor Richard Shaw. Their proposal 1, yellow. Press yellow.
Proposal 2.
And Councillor Turpin. And Councillor Turpin and Councillor Turpin and Elliott, the button will be green. Red will be abstaining. Is that okay? Yeah. Are we clear? So yellow will be. Do you want to do hands? I think it's more accurate. It's better accurate.
Yeah, we don't have to mess with the do. If you want to do show hands, then
we could do show hands. Yes? Everybody want to do show hands? Councillor Rooney?
Well, this has actually got nothing to do with me, but I'm just asking a question whether or not you should be taking a vote, first of all, for the chair, and then a separate vote for the deputy chair, because people might want to vote differently, depending on the result of the first one.
Thank you. I'll take that on board. We're going to do chairs first, if that's okay, just so we can, although everything was proposed in pairs, so the result will be end up the same anyway. So we'll go for chairs. We'll do show of hands instead of electronic, if that's okay, yeah? Lovely. So let's go back to old days. Yeah. So, okay, so we're going to go for 4. Anybody for Councillor Paul Turpin? Put your hands up. Noted? 4. Anybody for Councillor Simon Clement Jones? Put your hands up. Any abstentions, please? Any abstention? So it gave us 3 abstention, 4 for Councillor Turpin, and a winning for Councillor Jones. 5 votes. Congratulations. Mr. Chair. Let's go for Vice Chair. Yeah? So we're going to go for Deputy. Richard Shaw. Anybody wants to vote for Richard Shaw? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Councillor Elliott? Hands up for Councillor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I right? Any abstentions? 2 abstentions. So same outcome again. Councillor Elliott 4, Councillor Richard Shaw 5, and 3 abstention. Congratulations. So meeting number 6, South East Local Area Committee. It is to be formally moved by Councillor Curtis Crossland and formally seconded by Councillor Chapman. Councillor Ian Horner to be appointed as the chair, and Councillor Gail Smith to be appointed by Deputy Chair of the South East Local Area Committee. The meetings of the committee be held at least 4 times a year on dates and times to be determined by the chair, in accordance with the schedule of the council and committee meetings for the municipal year 2025 to 2026, approved at the annual meeting of the Council. Councillor Crossland.
Formally moved, Lord Mayor.
Councillor Chapman.
Formally seconded, Lord Mayor.
Does any of the member committee wish to speak? All of those in favour of the motion, please raise your hand. Thank you. All those against? Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Meeting number 7, South West Local Area Committee. It is to be formally moved by Councillor Joe Otten and formally seconded by Councillor Sue Austin that Councillor Andrew Sengar to be appointed as Chair of the Councillor and Chair, and the Councillor Rebecca Atkinson to be appointed by Deputy Chair of the South West Local Area Committee, and the meetings of the committee to be held at least 4 times per year on dates and times to be determined by the Chair in accordance with the schedule of council and committee meetings for the year 2025 to 2026, approved at the annual meeting of the council. Councillor Orton.
Formally moved, Lord Mayor.
Councillor Austin.
Formally seconded, Lord Mayor.
Does any of the member committee wish to speak? Are all those in favour show your hands? All those against? Any abstention? The motion is carried. Ready? First meetings of the Strategy and the Resource and Adult Health and Social Care Policy Committees. May I remind members that only the members of the committee concerned can speak and vote for the motion relating to that committee. Meeting number 8, Strategy and Resources Policy Committee. It is to be formally moved by the Leader of the Council and formally seconded by the Deputy Leader of the Council, approved by giving for the establishment of the Standing Charity Trustee Subcommittee with 5 seats, allocated accordingly to the political proportionality and in accordance with the compensation reported to the annual meeting of the Council, and with membership as set out in Schedule A, circulated in the meeting, and the Chair and the Deputy Chair of the subcommittee of the group spokespersons appointed in accordance to the Schedule B, and to meet on dates and times in accordance to the schedule of the Council and the committee meetings of the year 2025 and 2026, approved at the annual meeting of the Council, and B, the monitoring officer be authorised to appoint members to serve on the subcommittee in accordance with the details set out in the paragraph D, published on the agenda of the meeting. Leader of the Council.
Formally moved, Lord Mayor.
Deputy Leader of the Council.
Formally seconded, Lord Mayor.
Does any of the member of the committee wish to speak? All those in favour of the motion, please raise your hands. All of those against? Any abstain? The motion is carried. Meeting number 9, Adult Health and Social Care Policy Committee. It is formally moved by Councillor Angela Angenzio and formally seconded by Councillor Sophie Crossthorne that A, approval to be given for the establishment of the Standing Health Scrutiny Subcommittee with 9 seats, allocated accordingly to political proportionality and in accordance with the revised composition agreed at the annual meeting of the council and with membership as set out of Schedule A, circulated at the meetings, and the chair and appointed deputy chair of the subcommittee and group spokesperson and appointed in accordance to the Schedule B, and to meet on dates and times in accordance with the schedule of the council and the committee meetings for the multiple year 2025 to 2026, approved at the annual meeting of the council, and B, the monitoring officer be authorised to appoint members to serve the subcommittee in accordance with the details set out in paragraph D, published in the agenda of the meeting. Councillor Urgenzio.
Formally moved, Lord Mayor.
Councillor Crosthorne.
Formally seconded, Lord Mayor.
Does any member of the committee wish to speak? All of those in favour of the motion, please raise your hand. Any against? Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Thank you so much for today, and this concludes the business of today's meeting. Thank you all for your attendance.